to hold and touch her deceased child. Initially, healthcare providers refused. When she insisted, healthcare workers at the hospital propped her baby's head up on top of the baby's little body, wrapped him tightly in a blanket, and only allowed her to view her child through a glass window. Miss Ross and Mr. Taylor found out that their baby had been decapitated from the funeral home director to whom they had their baby's body transferred. The funeral home director gave the family a pathologist, gave them the name of a pathologist who was to perform an independent autopsy. This doctor's name is Dr. Jackson Gates. After all of the abuse suffered by this young couple, unfortunately, Dr. Gates continued and perpetuated their abuse by posting both photos and video of their decapitated child on social media, namely Instagram. He did this without the couple's knowledge or consent. When Miss Ross and Mr. Taylor learned that the photos and videos of their child were being displayed to the public on social media, they were devastated. This emotional trauma and devastation was in addition to the grief, trauma, and anguish that they were already suffering due to the manipulation associated with the botched delivery of their baby. Attorney Lynch will discuss the new lawsuit against Dr. Jackson Gates.
On September 1st, Jessica Ross and Travion Taylor filed a lawsuit seeking unspecified damages for the intentional infliction of emotional distress and the trauma that they suffered from Dr. Gates' unauthorized posting of video and photos of their decapitated child on social media. These unspecified damages would be determined by the enlightened conscience of a Georgia jury, as well as we are seeking punitive damages. Dr. Gates consciously waived his duty to this young couple when he traded his duty to them in exchange for likes and followers on Instagram. In his own words, he declared, "This issue has paralyzed me, and until justice is served, I will not stop posting." Our firm sent Dr. Gates a cease and desist letter prior to the filing of the suit, demanding that he take the post down. And for the record, at the date of original posting, around July 14th, Dr. Gates had 8,346 followers. As of today's date, he is now over 11,000 followers. It is our contention that he was doing this for likes and for followers. Thank you.
Do y'all have any questions?
Yeah, you spoke with Dr. Gates, and he's adamant that he's posting these videos for educational purposes. Can you all just kind of double down on, you know, his stance in maintaining that this is for some sort of educational foundation?
Dr. Gates states that he's posting these photos for educational purposes. Wow. What community and country do we live in when somebody can actually form the words and say it's okay to post photos of a decapitated baby, a couple's baby, without their consent, without their permission, and think it's okay? That's insane. I'm going to go further, all right? The fact that he doesn't have any appreciation of how wrong it is probably explains why he did it. I mean, this is diabolical. I mean, there's something wrong with that. This child got decapitated. This young couple just suffered one of the worst losses any human beings could ever suffer. And they were manipulated by the hospital. And now they're manipulated again. Wow.
How did the family find out about the Instagram and social media?
Well, once everything happened, people, I guess, that followed Dr. Gates saw the post and started alerting them of the post, and they saw it themselves around July 14th. Subsequently, the original post depicting the head of the child was taken down, but they checked the page again, and there were 2 additional videos which depicted the autopsy of the chest cavity of the child and of the cranial cavity of the child that were posted, and they were discussed it once more.
And I've got one more question. What educational value is it to anybody to view a picture of a decapitated baby? I can't think of any.
Outside of the civil litigation that you all have filed, do you know if there are any state violations that he could be in breach of by posting this? He's claiming that he got consent through these contracts that the family signed. I'm sure with the lawsuit that we read from you all, the family did not consent to this. Could he face any state penalties from any state board of medical directors by posting these videos?
First of all, let me say, if Dr. Gates represents that he obtained consent from Ms. Ross or Mr. Taylor, that is a patent, abject lie. We've got a copy of the contract. Whether or not he faces any state sanctions and the like, that's going to be up to state agencies. However, the issue will be before them.
How is the couple doing? I mean, this has been a long road for them, I can imagine.
It's been very traumatic for them. I check in with them almost daily just to check how they are doing and how they are coming along. They are currently in counseling as well to deal with the aftermath of these situations.
Is their absence here today speak to that trauma?
Yes, yes.
Has there been any movement on the first lawsuit that you guys filed against the hospital and the other medical professionals who are involved in the childbirth?
Yes, the first complaint associated with Ms. Ross and Mr. Taylor was directed toward everything that happened associated with the botched delivery. All right, so that included the obstetrician, some of the allied health professionals. There's some John and Jane Doe, some people who we don't know who they are, but we know they exist. We'll find out who they are once we do depositions. So that suit is over here. This is something that's totally brand new. I mean, something that is so weird and strange that, I mean, it's just unconscionable.
Rod, I know you have a medical background. Dr. Bates, he says, well, I didn't put the baby's name or I didn't put the mother's name in the post.
Let me ask you all a question, all right? In this nation, how many decapitated babies do you know of right now? I think it's kind of self-evident who it was.
He also posted the full face of the child in his original Instagram post.
Any other questions?
What is the status of the GBI investigation?
We don't know. I mean, quite frankly, I've heard that there's a GBI investigation ongoing, but as with all governmental agencies, they keep that pretty close to the vest until it's done. So, I mean, I think you need to check with them and see what the status is.
Just to go back to the other lawsuit, when we've been speaking with Southern Regional, they said that the baby died in utero prior to the delivery and decapitation. Do you all believe that, or what is your stance on that?
Our stance is we don't know. I mean, right now we're in the very, very early primordial stages of discovery, and believe me, that's something that's going to be played out in depositions. Once we talk to everybody who's in the room, we're going to depose every person who was physically present in the room, and when I say in the room, that includes the labor and delivery suite, as well as in the operating room where they did the C-section. So, again, I'm not going to refute that, but I'm not going to say it's true. Evidence will show. Any other questions? All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
So, I was talking, the guy who does this stuff, Ryan, yeah, Ryan, he